This is not what you're prepared for. Rumors are circulating in the cryptocurrency community that the world's wealthiest corporation, BlackRock, already possesses billions of XRP Ripple coins. Doesn't it sound crazy? It gets wilder, though. According to experts, BlackRock is getting ready to push XRP's price to previously unheard-of levels. Some estimate that it will increase to $2,000 or higher. Quite thrilling, isn't it? You can't afford to ignore this positive indication. This video will wow you. Let's get right to the point without further ado. Disclaimer: XRP is more than simply a token, and it is at the heart of the rumors that are circulating in the cryptocurrency community. One of the digital assets with the strongest institutional ties is XRP. However, a fresh twist has emerged. Rumors that BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, has managed more than $9 trillion, may already be covertly gathering XRP and getting ready to introduce an ETF linked to it. It all began with a string of intriguing but mysterious tweets. One by John Squire said, quite simply, Ito Farina established a connection in another tweet that many people had not before noticed. He noted that Merrill Lynch, which holds a sizable stake in BlackRock, has a close relationship with the company. Bank of America, which acquired Merrill Lynch following the 2008 financial crisis, is already a verified Ripple partner that uses XRP for international transactions. Farina wrote, "Connect the dots, and all of a sudden, what had appeared to be conjecture turned out to be a strategic alignment that was concealed in plain sight." Amenix stoked the flames by implying that BlackRock is not just working on XRP but might also be developing an XRP ETF while keeping it all under wraps. He noted that the CEO is remaining mute, raising the possibility that this is intentional, perhaps as BlackRock is subtly strengthening its position before coming public. For them, that wouldn't be strange. The similar sentiment was expressed by Black Swan Capitalist co-founder Vandel Al-Jarrah. He stated that BlackRock already owns XRP in a post on X. He implied that the company has been secretly amassing these assets by saying, anyone familiar with their playbook knows they're always steps ahead, far before it was made public. You will soon learn about it. However, why would a giant like BlackRock even consider XRP at all? The three-letter acronym that is making news in both the finance and cryptocurrency industries may hold the answer: ETF. In essence, an ETF is a collection of stocks, commodities, assets, or cryptocurrency that may be traded on conventional markets. Imagine it as a cryptocurrency vending machine at a stock market. Investors can purchase shares in an XRP ETF with a single click, just like they can purchase Apple or Tesla stock, without having to deal with convoluted wallets or dubious platforms. Large institutional and retail engagement that was previously restricted is now possible. Now consider what would occur if BlackRock introduced an XRP ETF. A move like this would demonstrate institutional confidence like never before, given the firm's reach and reputation. It would be a statement rather than merely a financial commodity. Finally, Wall Street would embrace XRP and the practical applications that Ripple has been developing for years: instantaneous international payments, management of institutional liquidity, and an expanding banking partner network. XRP is in a unique position to gain from this change. The regulatory road for XRP is the most transparent. A U.S. court has decided that XRP is not a security after years of legal disputes, allowing Ripple and any institutional investor to operate without worrying about SEC retaliation. For businesses like BlackRock, this newfound transparency eliminates the last barrier. Previously, it was illegal to invest in XRP. The invitation is now open. BlackRock's reputation for being early and stealthy would be ideal if it were actually amassing XRP behind the scenes. Until the post is secured, the corporation doesn't make any noise. The retail populace may be feeding their XRP into institutional hands at cheap prices. If they sell low, panic, or hesitate. This is much the more convincing given BlackRock's history. They invest in core infrastructure rather than chasing hype. They are interested on long-term dominance rather than a fast flip. Therefore, the report that they are bulking up on XRP shouldn't be written out. It makes sense in terms of time, pattern, and logic. Isn't that interesting? Naturally, BlackRock won't just stand by and do nothing if they are actually involved. They shift marketplaces when they do so. Therefore, the price of XRP won't simply increase. It might blow up. But is that really as high as it can go? What sort of development are we discussing here? Do not be concerned. Let's just say that the results will astound you. The professionals have already done the math. Thus, the cryptocurrency community is still interested in XRP, not due to hype, but rather because it appears to be a sleeping monster the more closely you examine it. As described by Ripple Queen, there are signs everywhere. There may already be significant institutions building up behind the scenes. Additionally, while there may be brief declines on the charts, Crypto Bull cautions that April may be a slow month. The real fun is still to come. He is not alone in his prediction that May and June would be explosive. The attitude is changing. Even while XRP is now trailing, history demonstrates how quickly that may change. We were reminded of that recent rally by XRP Avengers. We saw how quickly XRP reached 70% in the last push. It will be a larger pump next time. That is not merely a bullish statement, it is a calculated move. It implies that we're about to enter a period of FOMO where the majority of retail investors chase green candles while early holders profit. Then there are the price projections, some of which are moonshot levels and some of which are grounded. As Steph tweeted, XRP surged above $2,000 in value. Is that possible? Perhaps not in the near future, but it does indicate a change in perspective among the XRP community. Expectations are rapidly increasing. Ito Farina, meanwhile, makes a stronger but more realistic assertion. He recently stated that XRP ought to be trading above $100 in a typical market. He supports his bold assertion. However, Farina claims that the most significant event has not yet occurred. Like many cryptocurrencies, he thinks XRP is still tied to the fluctuations of Bitcoin. When XRP eventually separates from Bitcoin, I anticipate the most explosive candle in history, he stated. He stated that one sentence is powerful, because what happens if XRP begins to move according to its own fundamentals and is no longer influenced by the volatility of Bitcoin? They're setting the stage, infrastructure already in place, institutional interest and legal certainty. Furthermore, the pressure beneath this cap is only increasing if the rumors circulating regarding Blackrock and an XRP ETF are accurate. Nowadays, it's not simply about pricing, whether it's $10, $100, or even $2,000. It has to do with XRP at last asserting its position in the new financial system. Let's now examine Ripple's collaborations, because things start to get extremely fascinating at this point. These are strategic transactions that are influencing the direction of international finance, not merely haphazard transactions. Most people are unaware of the size of this enormous bullish signal. Although it's still early, Ripple will soon be operating the system in the background, so it won't be too late. You will be blown away by what you are about to hear. Therefore, when it comes to XRP, worldwide acceptance is more than simply a catchphrase. With Ripple's growing integration into institutional finance, it's starting to become a genuine thing. The recent addition of Ripple to the cross-border task force of the Bank for International Settlements Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure is among the most important signs of this change. This is no easy task. The task force's objective is to increase the effectiveness and interoperability of international cross-border payments. It comprises prominent financial organizations such as the European Central Bank, MasterCard, and SWIFT. Prominent social media influencer John Squire has brought attention to Ripple's dominance in this field. He pointed out that, considering the size of the $300 trillion market